Let me be brutally honest with you right now. You are probably handing the IRS thousands of extra dollars every single year. And the worst part? You are doing it completely legally. Not because you're cheating, not because you're careless, but because nobody ever sat down and taught you the rules of a game that was specifically designed to confuse you. Welcome back. Today we are talking about tax mistakes. The ones that are quietly bleeding your bank account dry while you are out here working harder than ever, earning more than most people you know, and somehow still feeling like you have nothing to show for it at the end of April. If you own a small business, run a side hustle, or you are pulling in a solid income and wondering where it all goes, this video is going to feel like that moment when someone finally turns the lights on in a dark room. Here is what we are covering today. We are going through the most expensive tax mistakes that high earners and small business owners make, why they happen, and exactly what you can do differently. No complicated IRS code language, no accounting degree required. Just clear, actionable stuff that could genuinely change your financial life. And yes, I am going to keep it real with you the whole way through. Let's go. So let's start with the mindset problem, because this is actually the root of everything else. Most people treat taxes like a bill that shows up at the end of the year and you just pay it. Like your electric bill, except your electric bill does not make you want to cry in a parking lot. The people who keep the most money, the ones building wealth faster than everyone around them, they treat taxes as a system to be understood and strategically managed throughout the entire year. Not just during tax season, year-round. That shift in perspective is worth thousands of dollars, maybe tens of thousands. So hold on to that idea as we move through this. Mistake number 1. And this one is so common, it should honestly have its own Netflix documentary. Not tracking your business expenses properly. I am talking about the person who pays for a work laptop with their personal credit card, forgets about it by January, and never deducts it. Or the freelancer who meets a client for lunch, pays $60 out of pocket, and never logs it anywhere because they figure it is too small to matter. Here is the thing though. Small expenses are like termites. Individually, they look harmless. Collectively, they eat your house. If you are self-employed or running a business, legitimate business expenses reduce your taxable income dollar for dollar. That means if you are in a 32% tax bracket and you have $10,000 in untracked expenses sitting in your account history right now, you just left $3,200 on the table. Just sitting there. Gone. And it was completely legal to keep it. The fix is painfully simple. Get an app. There are plenty of them. Use a dedicated business credit or debit card for every single business purchase. Take 30 seconds to photograph receipts. Set up a quick monthly review. The system does not have to be fancy. It just has to exist. Mistake number 2, and this one particularly hits small business owners hard, not choosing the right business structure. If you are running a profitable business as a sole proprietor, meaning you are just operating under your own name with no formal structure, you are paying self-employment tax on every single dollar of profit. We are talking about a 15.3% tax on top of your income tax. That combination can genuinely feel like a mugging. Now, when your business starts generating consistent profit, say somewhere in the range of $50,000 or more per year, it is worth having a serious conversation with a tax professional about whether forming an S corporation could save you money. The reason this matters is that an S corp allows you to split your income into a reasonable salary and distributions. You only pay self-employment taxes on the salary portion. The distributions? They do not get hit the same way. Depending on your situation, this restructuring can save thousands annually, sometimes significant thousands. Now, I am not saying run out and file S-Corp paperwork today without advice. Business structure decisions have real legal and administrative implications. But if nobody has ever brought this up with you, that is a gap in your financial team's communication skills, and it needs to be addressed. Mistake number 3, ignoring retirement accounts as a tax strategy. This one genuinely breaks my heart, because retirement accounts are one of the most powerful legal tax shelters available, and high earners especially are often too busy to take full advantage. If you are an employee, maxing out your 401k reduces your taxable income by up to $23,500 in 2026. If you are 50 or older, even more. That is not just saving for retirement. That is actively shrinking the amount of income the government can tax you on right now. But here is where small business owners and self-employed people really win. You have access to retirement accounts that most regular employees do not even know exist. A SEP IRA allows contributions of up to 25% of your net self-employment income, up to a certain annual limit that adjusts each year. A solo 401k can be even more powerful depending on your income. We are potentially talking about sheltering $80, $90, even over $100,000 per year from taxes, if your income supports it. And the money is not gone. It is growing for your future. This is not sacrifice. This is a cheat code. Let us take a breath here because I want to address something that might be running through your mind right now. You might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but I make too much money for some of these strategies. And there is a version of that thinking that is exactly right, and a version that is dangerously wrong. Yes, some tax benefits phase out at higher income levels. The traditional IRA deduction, for example, has income limits if you also have a workplace retirement plan. But many of the most powerful strategies we are talking about today have no income ceiling. High earners actually benefit more from deductions because every deductible dollar saves you more when you are in a higher bracket. So do not talk yourself out of optimizing because you assume you make too much. That assumption is costing you. Mistake number 4. Treating your home office like a nice idea instead of a real deduction. If you have a dedicated space in your home that you use regularly and exclusively for business, there is a legitimate deduction available to you. And I know the home office deduction has a reputation for being a red flag. Some people avoid claiming it specifically because they are scared it will trigger an audit. Here is the truth. If you qualify for it and you document it correctly, claiming this deduction is entirely appropriate. Avoiding a deduction you are entitled to because of fear is like refusing to pick up a $50 bill on the sidewalk because someone might be watching. There is a simplified method that lets you deduct $5 per square foot of your dedicated office space, up to 300 square feet. There is also a regular method that lets you deduct a percentage of actual home expenses, like mortgage interest, utilities, insurance, and repairs based on the square footage ratio. Neither method is complicated if you keep basic records. Just make sure the space is genuinely used for work, and only work. Your guest bedroom that has a desk in the corner where you occasionally answer emails does not count. The IRS has seen that one before. Mistake number 5. Not timing your income and deductions strategically. This one is where people who have some money start leaving even more money behind. The tax system in the United States is annual. You pay based on what happened during a specific calendar year. That means timing matters enormously, and most people never think about it. Here is a simple example. If December is rolling around and you know you are going to need to buy some significant equipment for your business, or make a major purchase that qualifies as a deduction, buying it before December 31st versus waiting until January 1st is the difference between getting that deduction this tax year or next tax year. Seems obvious when you put it that way, right? But in the rush of everyday life, these decisions get made on autopilot based on cash flow convenience rather than tax strategy. On the income side, if you have flexibility in when you receive a payment, a year-end bonus or a large contract payout, and you project that your income will be significantly lower next year, there may be legitimate reasons to defer that income. This gets more complex and really does require a professional to advise properly. But the core concept is this. You have more control over your tax situation than you think, if you are paying attention. Mistake number 6, and I have saved this one for here because it is perhaps the most painful of all for high earners and business owners. Not investing in qualified professional help. Now I know what you are thinking. This feels like a scripted recommendation that ends with me selling you something. I promise it is not. This is just math. A lot of high earners use whoever does taxes for their parents, or they use an online filing software because it feels fine and it saves money. But there is an enormous difference between someone who files taxes and someone who does proactive tax planning. A decent CPA or tax strategist who works with high earners and business owners is not just filling out forms. They are looking at your full financial picture 12 months in advance and making recommendations that, when executed properly, often save multiples of what they charge in fees. Paying $2,000 for advice that saves you $12,000 is not a cost. That is a return on investment that most stock portfolios would be jealous of. The challenge is that not all CPAs are created equal, and not every accountant is a proactive planner. When you are interviewing potential tax professionals, ask them directly, what proactive strategies have you implemented for clients in situations similar to mine? If the answer is vague or they look at you like you asked them something weird, keep looking. Now let us pull this all together because I want to leave you with something you can actually do this week, not just a list of concepts to feel overwhelmed about. First thing this week, pull up your bank and credit card statements from last year and spend 30 minutes tagging any transaction that could reasonably be a business expense. I genuinely believe most people who do this exercise find at least a few $100s they never claimed. Some people find thousands. Second thing, if your business is generating real profit and you do not have a dedicated retirement account set up, look into opening a SEP IRA or solo 401k before your tax filing deadline, including extensions. The contribution deadline is often later than you think. Third thing, have an honest conversation with whoever handles your taxes. Ask them point blank, is there anything I am missing that people in my situation commonly overlook? Their answer, or their inability to give you one, will tell you a lot about whether you have the right partner on your side. Here is the reality of all of this. The tax code is enormous, complicated, and genuinely written in a way that rewards people who engage with it versus those who just react to it. Every single mistake we talked about today has the same underlying cause. People treating taxes as something that happens to them instead of something they can actively manage. You work hard for your money. The idea that a chunk of it is disappearing not because of bad luck or bad investments, but because of avoidable, fixable mistakes is genuinely frustrating. But here is the flip side of that frustration. Every mistake is an opportunity. If you are making these errors right now, fixing them is like giving yourself a raise that does not require a single additional hour of work. If you found this valuable, drop a comment below and tell me which mistake hit closest to home for you. And if you want to go even deeper on tax strategy, the next video in this series covers advanced deduction stacking for business owners specifically, and it builds directly on everything we talked about today. Go watch that next. Your future self, the one keeping more of their own money, will thank you.